Here's a poem from the textbook, in the section on imagery, called Driving to Town Late to Mail a Letter. It is a cold and snowy night. The main street is deserted. The only things moving are swirls of snow. As I lift the mailbox door, I feel its cold iron. There's a privacy I love in this snowy night. Driving around, I will waste more time. That's by Robert Bly. And if you run the checklist through, the first thing it asks you to do is to make a short list of the poem's key images. And they talk in the text about this. This is nothing new. I'm no brainiac here. Cold and snowy night. That is a visual image and also a tactile image. So images don't just have to be visual. They can be all of the senses, any of the senses. A deserted main street. Mailbox door. Cold iron. And this is what you do with your poem. You just pull the images out and you make a list of them, like over here on the side, right? Snowy night. Yeah, the speaker likes his privacy. And driving around. Wasting time. I don't think wasting time is... Yeah, I guess it's an image. We all have that in our heads. Also, in the title, driving to town, late night, and a letter. So you've got all of these images, and you list them in the order, and then you look over your list and see, well, what kind of meaning does this provide, these images in this particular order. And we see that Bly begins the poem with no sense of how the speaker feels about the situation. It just says it's a cold and snowy night. These are just observations. It's not positive, it's not negative, it's not neutral, it's just a fact. And in the text it says, by noting where in line 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we see this. Okay. Now, it's not the mention of I, but it's I love. We get this subjective response to an image. Subjective meaning totally from within inside him, not objective, like as in I feel it's cold iron or I lift the mailbox door. Those are all objective. This is subjective right here. And then the text talks about how we discover the overall emotional structure of the poem. We also note that in the poem begins and ends with the same thing. Driving and driving. And like bookend too. This driving at the beginning is for a practical purpose. I mean, with the coronavirus, this meant that you have to be very careful about mailing a letter because you don't want to be around too many people. But at the end, it's all about wasting time. Okay. So simply noting these images from start to finish, we've already worked out a kind of an outline, rough essay outline. Easily. Okay. That's how the book describes this poem and how to use the checklist. Just do the same thing with your own checklist, just like I did with my poem, Power. Yeah, you got to put the time in. That's all there is to it.